On today's episode of Ghost Gossip, I am telling you about Mary Ingleman, otherwise known as the Witch of Winnsboro, or should I say the alleged Witch of Winnsboro. The Witch Trials of Winnsboro happened in 1792, which was 100 years after the Salem Witch Trials. Mary was between the ages of 70 to 80, and she was living in Winnsboro, South Carolina. She was a German immigrant. If you don't know where Winnsboro is, it's a little town right on 321 between not really between anything, really. It's just kind of out there. In 1792, neighbors' cattle started falling ill with a mysterious disease, and the townfolk couldn't think of any explanation other than it must be witchcraft. Mary, her neighbor Mr. Harding, his wife, and Sally Smith were all accused of witchcraft. A little bit about Mary. Mary worked with herbs and was the town's healer. The townspeople would actually go to Mary when they were sick, and she would heal them. And then all of a sudden, she was enemy number one. And the witch trial, it was against those 4 people, 3 to 4, depending on what you read. But it was targeted specifically to Sweet Mary over here, who was in her 70s. I just can't. Mary and her neighbors were seized and taken to a barn 5 miles outside of town where people actually put on evidence. It was all hearsay, mainly against Mary. I forgot to add in that this was a mock trial, not even a real trial, and they appointed John Crossland as the executioner of the trial. It wasn't even real. Her son and grandson actually testified against her, stating that she was levitating livestock in order to unalive them. There were also claims that she was levitating people's daughters out of bed and levitating them. They also claimed that she was a shapeshifter and she would turn into a panther to hunt her prey. And then her grandson and another man named Isaac, they claimed on the stand against poor Mary that she turned them into horses. And Isaac, she rode him 6 miles to a witches' convention where the devil himself was present. Mary and her neighbors were found guilty. They could not defend themselves against these claims, and they were found guilty, and the fake jury enacted the punishment right then, right there, and I can't go into what they did, but listen to my episode where I got into the horrible details of what happened to Mary and her neighbors. Mary and her neighbors survived, and they were released, actually, and they crawled away. And they lived. But Mary stayed in that area because she's a boss. And she actually went after executioner and others. Go off, queen. She was able to find a judge to rule in her favor, and he issued an arrest warrant for said people, especially John Crossland. Judge Young said that, yes, they had done her dirty. And they issued an arrest warrant for Crossland specifically and said that he owed her some money. Well, he was a coward and he took off out west before he could ever be arrested. And Mary never got any justice at all. He was gone. She got no money. He didn't get arrested. Just done dirty. I'm getting worked up again all over. Mary died of old age. And it is said by some, I don't have a link for this, but I heard it on TikTok, so it's got to be true, that her ghost now haunts the Fairfield County Courthouse. She is awaiting justice. She is haunting the Fairfield County Courthouse. Good on her. This one made me mad. Somebody had actually recommended this case to me, and when I read it, I was like, I got to do it. I got to do it. And it just made me angry, but it's part of history, and I had no idea about this story. Have you heard about the witch trials of Winnsboro? Because I never heard of it. Please let me know what you think about this video and my episode. Go check it out. Ghost Gossip wherever you get your podcast, and let me know. Let me know what you think. Subscribe. Give me a follow. Give me a like. Give me a love. I don't know. You can email me your stories if you ever have any. I would love to hear them, and I would love to share them. As always, thank you so much for listening. Y'all are the absolute best. And until next time, they'll see you later. Mary will see you later, John.